Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
This is the Game Forums Extended Forum, episode 18. Today we're going to be talking about the Russo Bros, a new PSVR controller, some more VR news, and Clone Wars. But first, have you been able to play anything this week, Lindsay? Because I know you've been on vacation.
Yeah, I was on vacation. I was doing some other work around my house and stuff. I was able to play some more Stranded Deep.
Okay.
I'm probably going to try and have a review out for that one next week. It's definitely a game that's grown on me the more I've played it. I find it a little relaxing, and I like the base building elements and stuff like that of the game. I've explored about half the islands in the I guess level you start on.
Uh-huh.
So right now I'm trying to go through and I'm probably going to start fighting the sea monsters soon and start trying to repair the airplane and escape.
Have you seen the trailer for House Flipper? Did you happen to see that?
Is that the like the 4-player crazy game?
No, it's literally like you go inside a house and you flip it, like you redecorate it, you like move stuff around. It's pretty much like HDTV the game.
Oh,
I
no,
feel
I've
like
not
you
seen
would,
it.
yeah, I feel like you would love that. I think it's on PlayStation already, and I think it's $30, but I feel like that's like right up your alley.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, I think Lindsay would like this because that's literally what you did on your vacation was like renovate some stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so, but yeah, apparently it's supposed to be pretty good. But so that's all you were able to play.
I played that and just a little bit of Crossout. I tried to. They had another event going on, and I played at least enough to get some of the special limited time parts I wanted.
Okay. Now I do have to say, so we had posted your review on the Crossout subreddit, and so I had subscribed to that subreddit, and they're a pretty small group, but they are like super active. And every time I'm like scrolling through Reddit, there's like 6 posts that pop up from people, and like I don't know, it's a I couldn't really get into the game, but it seems like the community is like really supportive, and I don't know, I thought that was really cool.
That was pretty cool.
So moving on to what I've been playing, excuse me, I played a little bit more Rage 2. It's kind of like, so I did like the 5th story mission, and I fought like the main boss and killed him. And I was like, oh, wait, I've done 5 story missions. What the hell is going on? And I looked up, and it's like you can run through the main story in 10 hours, but if you want to do everything else, it's like a 40-hour game. I'm like, well, wait, this doesn't sound cool at all. And so it's like I'm already like near the end of the game. Like there's literally like less than 10 story missions for you to do, like the main missions. And so it's just kind of like they put padding in it, but in most games it'd be like, oh, to do this you need to be this level or have this type of gun or this armor. And this is like, no, you can just beat the game if you want to and just move on. And so that's kind of like
That's kind of weird.
it's really weird, and I've kind of like lost motivation to like really play because it's like, oh, okay, well then I guess it's just something I'll pick up and play every once in a while. So I haven't been playing that a whole lot, but Thursday night I was like, I'm chunking away on Final Fantasy VII because I'm kind of like, okay, I'm getting a little tired of this game. I want to move on to something else, and I could always just put it down, but I can't do that. That's not in my blood.
Yeah.
So I put in 10 hours on
Oh,
Thursday.
wow.
I don't know how I did it. I played for like 6 hours straight, and then I was able to put in another 4 hours throughout the day. Candace, my wife, has been very supportive, so I was like, "This, I really want to try to finish this damn game." And I think I was on chapter 12. I'm now on chapter 16. I was 19 hours into the game. I'm now 29 hours into the game.
So you're almost at the end now.
I'm almost there. I might be able to finish it tonight. Now I'm going to try to, but my God, this game is kind of trash.
So it's changed your opinion negatively on it.
Yeah, it's okay. So like chapter 9
I guess
was,
don't do any spoilers.
yeah, no, I will not be doing any spoilers, but like chapter 9 was awesome, and then like chapter 12, chapter 13, chapter 14 was like, this is really really awesome, but then it's It's kind of, I feel like I'm missing out on everything because I don't know the story of the original, like Final Fantasy VII back in 1997. So there are things that happen in this game that I don't know what this means, and they're not explaining it, which
Huh.
is really annoying because it's kind of like, wait, what is that? Why am I having to go online to look up what this means in a game that is supposed to be a remake? It's supposed to be a remake of the original, and I don't know what it's talking about. It's the best way I can explain it is if you've never watched a Star Wars movie and you watched Rogue One for the first time, you wouldn't understand the ending of that movie. You
Yeah.
would be like, oh, who the hell is this dude? Why is he so important? Like, who is this? I don't get it. And it's kind of like the same thing. And I'm kind of like, this is bad storytelling if you are remaking a game and only acknowledging the people that have played the original, but you make systems, gameplay systems, to incorporate new people into the franchise, but then you leave them out of the story, which that's kind of the main thing people want to play the game for because from what I've heard, the story in Final Fantasy VII is amazing. And so playing the remake of that said game, you would expect the story to be amazing. And it is to people that have played the original. But
Well,
I'm that's
it,
yeah, what?
also, I was starting to wonder. This is only part of it. It
Yeah.
might be starting to ask some questions that it's probably going to answer in the next section. So I think part of it too might be them just building up some stuff that probably might not get answered in this game at all because it's not a standalone game. It's going to be part of, another Final Fantasy VII remake or maybe even a trilogy.
Yeah, and that's I get I mean I get that, and it's fair. It's their game; they can make it what they want. But there was one moment in particular, which I will not spoil. It happened, and it was supposed to be like I'm assuming a powerful moment, and I was kind of like, wait, I don't who is this person? I have no idea who this person is. And then I had to look it up, and they were like, "Oh, that was a callback to the very end of the Final Fantasy VII game." And I'm like, "Well, how the hell would someone know that without?" And it's just like, I mean, obviously, this game is awesome. The gameplay is really good. The character voice acting is awesome. The graphics are amazing. Like everything that really matters when it comes to a video game is good, except like the story tags you along just enough, and then when it gets to where it matters, it just kind of like pulls the rug out from under you to the point to where I'm like, huh, I don't like that it took me 30 hours to be disappointed. Like I
Yeah.
was enjoying this game, put in 30 hours, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I guess I'll just finish it. I've only got 3 more chapters left, so I might as well just finish it. And maybe the ending of the game is pretty good. Like I said, I haven't beat it, and I actually don't know how it ends. I've been trying to. I feel like if I looked into the ending, I would just be like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not going to finish this game, and that's going to bother me a lot if I never finish this game. So I'm trying to avoid the spoilers, but it's just like I don't know. I don't know what thing. Are you still interested in playing the game?
Yeah, no, I'm still probably going to go through and finish it.
Okay, because it'll be an interesting discussion. But I don't know. It was just kind of like it's an odd thing that so many people are like, oh my god, this game was amazing. I'm like, well, how? What part was it? Because
Yeah.
if you hadn't played the original, you literally are not going to know what's going on. So maybe after I beat it literally tonight, I could text you tomorrow morning and be like, oh my god, this game is so amazing, and then I'm about to wait a week before we talk about it. But I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. I may be even more confused.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So moving on to the news. So the Russo brothers, who were known for, they did Infinity War and Endgame, right? Those are the only two they did.
I think so. Actually, I think they might have done Winter Soldier as well.
Oh, okay. Well, the Winter Soldier was pretty good too. Well, apparently they're remaking Hercules, and I don't know how I feel about that.
The animated Hercules one from Disney.
Yeah, they're remaking the animated one, but in a live action form, kind of like what Disney's been doing with a lot of their property.
Yeah,
And I don't know how I feel about that. 'Cause-
I don't know. Like I said, I've gone to see a lot of those with my wife.
yeah,
Some of them have been pretty good. The last couple, I feel like, have not. Like, I did not really like Lion King. It felt way too real. Like, like it, the style they were going for, I did not think really gave the animals enough emotion
yeah,
to warrant it being a CG. Um, like Aladdin was kind of meh. Like I really liked the animated Aladdin when I was younger, but it just could not recapture that feeling in the newer one. Um,
yeah.
so I mean, I guess a lot of their live action remakes have kind of fallen flat for me.
Yeah, did you see Beauty and the Beast?
I did.
That one I liked. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. It was good,
Well, that was
but
definitely one of their better ones.
yeah,
But I mean, I guess a lot of it is, these are stories that have already been told, and a lot of times have been told, in almost a classic, timeless sense with their animation, and I feel like they have a hard time matching that with live action.
yeah. And with Hercules in particular, that was out of all of the Disney movies, I'd say 101 Dalmatians and Hercules are the only two that I was like super drawn to. And
Mm.
so remaking Hercules, I'm kind of like, okay, you guys can't screw this up. I don't care if you're the Russo brothers, you can't screw this up.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that ends up working out. Like I said, I really liked Hercules when I was little.
Yeah,
I watched the TV show all the time too. So I'm curious to see, are they going to make him as quirky as all that in the live action? Or are they going to take it in a more serious tone? I'm kind of curious to see what they do with that.
I mean, to be fair, like they could get Chris Hemsworth, and I feel like he'd fit perfectly. Like
Yeah,
he played Thor, so it kind of like he'd be the perfect Hercules. And then wasn't it Danny DeVito that voiced his like trainer?
yeah.
Like just have him appear as himself. Like that would be perfect. Like that would sell me on it. They got Danny DeVito and Chris Hemsworth to play. That would be fine.
Who
And then
did
like
the
the
Who did the voice of Hades?
James Woods.
Yes, if they got him back as Hades, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, and then God, who were the oracles or what were they called? The at the beginning they did
Oh
the
yeah, the
opening. I
I
can't
can't
remember.
remember what they
Yeah,
called them.
I can't remember. But you know who I'm talking about. Like
Yeah,
they could actually do this like pretty well, and so I mean maybe it'll be good. If Disney is going all out and they're trusting it to the Russo brothers,
yeah, I
it'll
would
be
trust the
fine.
Russo brothers a little bit more than some of the previous directors. I'm curious to see what they end up doing with it. They might take it in a little bit more comedic direction.
Yeah, which it may be for the better. Just make a funny, appeal to the people that watched the movie as a kid, and now they're adults now. So there's a lot that they could do with that. I hope.
Yeah. In other news this week, PSVR just put out a new leak, or PlayStation just put out a new leak on a PlayStation VR 2 prototype that
Yes.
does finger tracking without the use of cameras. Um, I'm not entirely sure how this works. It seems like a little bit of magic. I
Yeah.
guess it has some pressure sensitive areas on the controller and can feel how your muscles and your hand are moving. But this looks really good. Like compared to, what PlayStation started with which was pretty much just porting over some PlayStation 3 Move controllers.
Yeah.
Um, Now that they've been so successful in the VR market, it looks like they're really looking for a serious upgrade for the PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they do go all out. I do have some concerns. So like with everything that's going on right now, like the Iron Man VR game got delayed, and it was delayed alongside The Last of Us Part Two. and they've gotten a new release date for The Last of Us Part 2, but Iron Man VR has just been left out. Like, they haven't brought that up again. One concern that I have is with the whole COVID-19 thing going on, how are they going to advertise games on VR? Because you have to wear the headset in order to do that. But how soon are people going to be okay with putting on a headset that 40 other people have worn? And if that's the case, like if their marketing for this goes out the door, are they going to give up on PSVR 2, or do you think that they're actually going to continue in hopes that 2 years from now things are much different?
Well, I think it's really going to determine on what the sales for games are,
Okay.
because PlayStation VR already has millions of units sold, and right now these people are, a lot of people are starting to get out of quarantine, but there's still a
Yeah.
lot of people stuck at home. So I'd be very curious to see what their sales numbers have done. You've got all these people with VR units who have all this time on their hands and a lot of really affordable VR titles to play. I bet you anything that this pandemic has really helped VR game sales.
Okay. All right. Because that's one thing I was worried about. Because it seems like with, let's say, the PSP, that was kind of like a hot flash. It was like, oh, hey, this is super successful. I think it sold like 89 million units, which is insane. And then they came out with the PS Vita, and it sold, I think, around 12. And I'm hoping that they don't do the same thing where they do the VR, it's awesome, and then they do PSVR 2, and then it flops, and they're only able to sell like 700,000 units.
Well, I think it really depends on what kind of support they have from developers and what kind of support they give it themselves in first party titles. I think that the first PlayStation VR unit was pretty much like a test, like
Yeah.
getting their, just putting their toe in to see what the water was like kind of deal. They used an old controller that they
The
already
old
had.
camera.
Yeah,
The
an old camera. Like pretty much the only thing they had to design was the headset, and the headset did not have the highest fidelity screens in it either.
Yeah.
So all the way around, they're really looking to save on price and just try it without it being, a multi-billion-dollar thing and they lose all this money. Now it seems like they've sold so much of it and it's sold so well, and people who have a VR unit buy far more VR games than people who have just a standard PlayStation. Um, so I'm assuming that their marketing teams and corporate teams are all looking at this and deciding, well, we're gonna put out a little bit better VR unit for its second go with the PlayStation 5. And it looks like they are putting a lot of research and development into this new controller if it has this type of technology just in the prototype. And I'm assuming also it's probably a lot further along than they're letting on with this video. I would assume it's probably going to come out holiday of next year.
Yeah, I feel I'd be more comfortable saying that it's going to come out maybe fall of 2022. That's only because of what's going on with like the coronavirus and stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're like pushing back the marketing. They're going to want to make room for the PlayStation 5, but I don't know. I mean, the sooner the better to me, I think. Just go ahead and get it out there and let it build up hype, build up, a game library.
Oh, yeah.
So it'd be cool. Speaking of more rumors, Mass Effect might be getting an HD remake. And this is from a earnings call from EA. They had talked about a unannounced HD game, and excuse me, GamesBeat had said, "Oh yeah, that's the Mass Effect trilogy. They're doing an HD remake." And last year, EA had said that they're going to be focusing on more HD remakes, a lot more remasters. They really wanted to hone in on that because obviously that means money.
Yeah.
And so there's a rumor of it being the Mass Effect remake. And I mean, honestly, I'm okay with that because Mass Effect was a really good franchise, and you can't really play them anymore on PlayStation. There's no way to play it unless you have a PlayStation 3. On the Xbox, you can play all three through backwards compatibility, and so it's interesting that they're going to be able to do this because for Sony, this is a huge get. But for Xbox, you can already play these games through backwards compatibility. So I wonder if does backwards compatibility hurt remasters slash remakes, or it's like that's an interesting pull.
Well, I think it might not hurt them as much because, if you bought the original Mass Effect and, you played it, when it first came out and you really loved that game, and now they're making a newer, better graphic version of it, everything's upscaled, retextured some, it's overall prettier game, new lighting effects and all that kind of stuff. You're going
Yeah,
to want to play that version.
yeah,
So I don't think that backwards compatibility really hurts remakes that much because you're going to be selling it to the same people who really loved it to begin with and a new audience who would have never had the original game to begin with. Moving on, we got a lot of Star Wars news this week.
oh yeah,
Um, it was Star Wars Day on May 4th, so they put out a lot of stuff.
oh
Uh,
yeah. That was the Monday after we recorded, right?
yep.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
So to start off, they have confirmed the new Star Wars movie is going to be directed by Taika Waititi, and he did one of the what was it, Thor 3,
Yeah.
Ragnarok. He does a lot of really funny movies, so I'm assuming this one is probably not going to be set in the main timeline. It's probably going to be like a Star Wars comedy, probably with some new characters, I would have to guess.
Like a funny heist movie, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd love to see something like that. Just something set in the Star Wars universe and it has that quirky, crazy sense of humor that he has. So hopefully this one does end up getting made. They've put so many movies on hold after the sequel series has come out and Solo hasn't done so well. I think they're kind of restructuring and reshifting a lot of things around at Lucasfilm. Um, but this is a new one that's been announced after Bob Chapek has taken over from Bob Iger. So this one should be one that actually does get made.
Yeah.
So
And Taika Waititi, didn't he do a few episodes of The Mandalorian? Or he did one episode, right?
I'm not sure. I think he might have done one episode or help direct or write one of the episodes.
Okay.
Um, but I know he's worked with mainly on the Marvel side of Disney, and now it looks like they're giving him some control to do some things on the Star Wars side of Disney as well.
Okay. And this is probably a ways out because isn't he doing the Thor Love and Thunder movie?
Yes, so I would
Okay.
not expect to see this movie for at least a couple years. It's definitely not going to be out next year, or maybe not even the year after.
Yeah, because I remember, didn't they say they had like 2022, 2024, and 2026? They have
Uh,
like
they
Star Wars
they
movies.
scrapped all of that after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was their original setup. They were going to do like a one of the episodes, like 7, 8, 9, and then they were going to do character-based movies like Solo and Rogue One, and they'd alternate every year. And then Last Jedi got really bad reception and poor box office ratings. I mean, it's still good box office ratings, just not for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And then Solo came out, and it did even worse. And then they kind of like put everything on hold to try and fix Rise of Skywalker and make sure that one did well. And that one got kind of a lukewarm reception as well. So right now they're kind of reshuffling and reorganizing like all the stuff they had originally planned. Like they originally had planned to do a Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and that has been changed to a Disney Plus series. Ewan McGregor will be coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi, but instead of a movie now, he's going to be doing a TV series.
And are we sure that that's still on? That hasn't been canceled? Okay,
That
good.
hasn't been canceled. They have said that it is. I think they're finishing writing the scripts for it right now. It is still in production. but it hasn't actually like started filming or anything yet. They're trying to finalize the story for it.
Okay. I still have to watch Rise. Is it The Rise of Skywalker? Is that
I
the?
think it's a yeah. I don't know if it has the in it or not, but Rise of Skywalker.
I still have to watch that. I think I might start it after we get done recording. I might just. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the whole movie because I think it's like 2.5 hours long.
It's pretty long.
I might watch like an hour and 15, hour and a half, just kind of sit down and watch some of it, and then go to bed, wake up, and watch the rest.
I would definitely recommend trying to watch it all at one time. It has a
Okay.
lot that's going on and it jumps around a lot, so you kind of have to be paying attention.
Oh, it's such a long movie.
Uh,
I probably should though. I've been like holding off on it forever because every time I will literally go to Disney Plus and I'll sit over it and I'll see the time for how long it is. And I'm like, I'd rather if I'm going to do a 3 hour investment, I'd rather play video games. Uh,
I definitely want to hear what you think about it after you watch it.
I feel like I'm going to be generally positive about it just because I'm so far removed from the disaster that The Last Jedi was, and frankly, I don't remember a whole lot from it other than Leia doing her floaty space thing. I would have laughed in theaters, but I was too scared to laugh because I was in a theater full of Star Wars fans, and I thought that they'd beat me up after. So
Yeah,
I didn't know if they would like if is this a pivotal moment that they were waiting for, or I did not know that that was the disaster that it was at the time. But
yeah.
I am interested in watching it. But moving on with the Star Wars news, apparently, I didn't know this until we started doing this episode that Vader Immortal is coming to PSVR.
Yes, it was confirmed the other day. I'm not sure on a hard release date yet, but I'm very excited to see this. Vader Immortal got really good reviews on PC, and it's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, man, I really wish I could play that, but I don't want to buy another VR headset.
Yeah,
But they did say it will be coming to PlayStation VR sometime, so that is a little bit of a positive light. It'll be the collection of all of they release them in like episodes. So this
yeah.
will be a collection of all the episodes grouped together, and it'll have like I think a couple extra like training missions and stuff in there too. They said.
That's cool. That's so with recently the Saints and Sinners Walking Dead game has come out, and that I was never expecting to come out on PSVR, and then now Vader Immortal, I'm like, dude, it is crazy how long after PSVR has been out, and they are now like these are two huge hitters. One of them which is already out, the other one which I'm assuming will come out this year, and then there's still Iron Man VR. And so, like, those are really big games. And as far as I know, Iron Man VR, Vader Immortal, and the Saints and Sinners games both require like heavy usage of the move controllers, which is always awesome when you get to like
Right.
do move your hands individually.
Um, some more Star Wars news just came out about the Mandalorian season 2. Apparently, they are going to have Boba Fett in season 2. It has been confirmed as of last week on Star Wars Day. Um, so they're going to get the actor who played Jango Fett from the original prequel movies to come back and play a role as Boba Fett in the second season of The Mandalorian.
No.
Now, I don't know how long they're going to have him in there because this seems like it's going to be really packed for season 2 of cameos because I've heard Luke Skywalker might be in it. I've heard Ahsoka is like confirmed to be in it. And now Boba Fett is confirmed to be in it. Um, that's going to be a lot of people eating away at just the Mandalorian screen time in his own show.
Yeah, maybe they do one of those things where season one was 10 episodes, but season two will be 24 episodes or 26 episodes. Like they'll get a full run.
I
Maybe
hope
that
so.
I would hope so too. And also, I would have expected something as big as this to be saved for in the show. Like they just revealed that, oh yeah, hey, Boba Fett's going to be in season two of The Mandalorian. I'm like, well, that would have been better if you didn't tell us that.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree on that. Um, that would have been something I think should have been shown almost as, I don't know, maybe, I mean, they don't ever take off their helmets though.
They
I
could
was
have.
gonna say maybe you see the actor and like people who really know and remember, like, hey, wasn't that the guy? And then like you see him put on his armor or something.
Yeah, like they could have teased it, and it's not like they're strangers to hiding stuff. No one knew about Baby Yoda. Like
Yeah,
they managed to keep that under wraps. So like, why would they just spill their beans before then? This would have been a cool like, oh my God, Boba Fett's in this. So, like, what does that mean? Is he still alive? Did he really die? And like, but no, they just kind of like, hey, he's gonna be in it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess okay, that's a thing now.
well, before Disney bought Lucasfilm, there's like a bunch of other books and stuff that had pretty much confirmed that Boba Fett like escaped the Sarlacc pit, and that's not how he died. I don't think
Oh,
there's anything since Disney had bought Lucasfilm confirming that, but I guess this is how they're going to do that. Um, I mean, I guess it makes sense. He's got a jetpack, so I mean, he could just like fix it down there and fly out.
yeah. Didn't they retcon the extended universe or some of it? Wasn't
They're the stuff that was Lucasfilm and all the books and comics and all that stuff became known as Legends continuity when Disney bought it. And what they're slowly doing is they're taking different stories from Legends and then kind of reworking them or copying them beat for beat and putting them in the new canon version of Star Wars.
okay.
So they're kind of picking and choosing what stuff they do and sometimes sticking with exactly how it happened and sometimes completely reworking it to fit a new story.
I guess that's okay. I don't know. That sounds kind of too convenient, especially for a franchise as
Yep.
beloved as this. They're kind of picking what they want.
Well, I
That's
mean, they've got a lot of already preset, stories and characters and all this stuff. It makes sense to, you know, take something and put into something else. One of the best examples that comes to mind for me is Thrawn was a really popular character from some of the books in the old continuity, and they ended up giving him a role in the Rebels TV show. So he was a pretty cool character to be introduced into that, and I didn't really read any of the older books, but I mean I knew he was a character.
yeah.
Um, but it's kind of cool to see some of those characters pop up and how they fit into the overall universe.
Huh. Well, that's cool. And then for the last Star Wars news, what about this Clone Wars ending? Because I have no idea.
So I've been watching them every episode as they come out. Um, they put out the next to last episode last Friday, or I guess Friday before last now. Um, and then on Monday, May 4th, they put out the season finale. And I have to say, this was really well done. These last four episodes of Clone Wars, there's like a petition now to have them grouped together and give it a theatrical release
Oh
uh,
wow.
because it is so good. Like, there are so many story beats that tie so well to the overall Star Wars canon, and you get a really cool lightsaber fight. They brought back the actor who played Darth Maul in Episode One to do motion capture for a motion capture fight scene between him and another character. Um, they kind of complete the Clone Wars story arc and tie up a lot of the loose ends going into Revenge of the Sith. And the last little bit of the Clone Wars is a really kind of like interesting moment in Star Wars and really helps explain a couple things in the overall bigger universe of Star Wars. So overall, I feel like this one had a lot of really good story beats. The only complaint I might have a little bit, and this is just kind of a nitpick, is they really scale up some of the force powers of some of the characters in this. Like Ahsoka and Darth Maul both seem like really powerful in these last couple episodes. They're really going through and tearing through people and just, I mean, just going a little bit crazy. But I'll give it to them because they have built these characters up over 7 seasons, and they really just wanted to go out with a bang. So it's nothing too crazy unbelievable like the Force Unleashed games where someone's pulling down a Star Destroyer or anything crazy like that.
Yeah.
But it is really seeing, I guess, like the some of the strongest Star Wars characters like at their peak.
Okay. Well, so I understand that there is like I don't know how to explain it. There's a series of episodes that you can watch with the Clone Wars that pretty much tells like the arc, like the story beats that really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Would you suggest like watching that over starting from episode 1, or is it worth it to just start from episode 1?
Yeah, it depends on how big a Star Wars fan you are. I would say majority of the episodes are pretty good. There are a couple episodes that are really kind of a miss, where it's like Jar Jar's crazy adventure, or like R2D2 go off in some stupid thing. But I just went back and rewatched the whole series before season 7 started, and there were far more good episodes than I remembered there being. It really helps to show a lot more character development of like how good a person Anakin was, and you really start to see, especially in some episodes, how bad he can be and start heading into Darth Vader style territory. But it really helps flesh out a lot of the characters from the movies, and then create new characters like Ahsoka. And a lot of people, say Ahsoka is probably one of Star Wars' like best female characters, and I'd have to agree because you pretty well see her start off as like this annoying little kid, and then like grow up into like a warrior all of her own. And that's the kind of like character development that a lot of the newer movies, especially, have really been lacking. All right, I think that's about all we got for this week. Then, if you got any other things to say it in the comments down below. And until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.